Well, good morning, guys. It is a balmy 7 degrees out this morning and we're going logging. But before we get out in the woods, I gotta get the equipment set up. So that's what we're gonna work on in this video. So in a perfect world, I would have pulled this into my shop last night instead of leaving it here in this unheated open shed, but you know, hindsight's 2020. I gotta get the chipper unhooked here and put on the logging attachment, so let's hope this starts. That'll be test number 1 for the day. Seat's nice and warm. Yeah, right. Actually started pretty good. I'm gonna let it warm up a minute or two. So it was too dark in there to film unhooking that chipper, but trust me, it's unhooked. It was a little bit of a fight. Cold steel in the morning in the dark, not so much fun. So we're gonna go down and fetch the logging attachment out of the snow, and I'll give you an overview of how everything works and how I'm set up. Oh, this is starting out to be one of these days. Between the wrestling match unhooking the chipper and going to hook this up, chipper bent this support arm. I've seen that before. When that chipper's so heavy and when you drive with it, it sways, it bent the arm. So now I get to pull that all apart, put that on the press, straighten it out so I can open this wide enough to hook up the logging attachment. Did I mention it's 7 degrees out? Some days you're better off staying in the house. So I intended to just, hook up some logging equipment, kind of give you a rundown of what I'm working with and go from there. Well, this is turning into a repair video. Does that look straight to you? Yeah, that's the problem. We're gonna see if we can't press that out some. Close. Got a little bit of an S bend going on. Let's try a little bit the other way. I'm gonna let that come all the way back up. That was kind of dumb. I think I'll give that a shot. She's looking pretty straight there. It's not perfect by any means, but maybe straight enough. All right, got that back together. That's gonna work now. This tractor actually didn't come with these sliding bar stabilizers. Came with the screw type. We actually replaced them with these. I actually prefer these. We have them on our other tractors. We thought it was a good idea, an improvement for hooking and unhooking stuff, and it is, except like I said, that chipper is so heavy. If it gets to swaying, it can bend these, and once they have a little kink in them, they won't slide back and forth on the slot. So that's the downside we found to them. If anybody's interested in that, if you're familiar with the two different types, the turnbuckle type or the sliding pin system. So I'll finish getting set up here. Where is the pin I want? There it is. All right. I'm gonna need a wrench to shorten that up. Stabilizer pins in. All right, let's pull it down to the shop. We got one more piece of equipment to hook up. Well, as you can see, this hasn't moved since I washed all the equipment in fall. Used it to haul some water. Like a nice frozen hose. Oh yeah. Oh. Yep. That's on camera. The editor should probably edit that out. Let's get hitched up. Alright, so we went through all that commotion so I can give you an overview of what I'm doing here, how I'm set up. So I've told you in the past, I'm not a professional logger. We don't really do logging as part of the sawmill business here, but I do have about 30 acres of my own woodland that I harvest, that I don't clear cut, but I selectively thin, and that's what I'm working on. That's what I'm going to start on here. And I wanted to show you kind of how to do some logging on a small scale, homestead scale, with a lot of stuff you probably have on hand already to work efficiently. So the heart of the operation here obviously is the tractor, but I welded up this 3-point log arch a few years ago. I made it super heavy. I think that's 5-inch tube. Maybe it's 4.5, doesn't matter. Super heavy frame, and I use these log tongs. They work well most of the time. Some logs are finicky, you can't get them to grab if the bark's slipping. Then I use chains. So I have a chain rack over here on this side to hold my chains, to reach out and get stuff that I can't drive the tractor right up to. You got several chain hooks here to hook onto the frame. So obviously you can lift the end of the log up. That's always key when you're skidding logs. You want to get that end off the ground. It makes it pull so much easier. It puts weight on the rear of the tractor, and it works really well. So the other thing I added when I built this, I put on a chainsaw holder. That's simply just 2 oak boards with a spacer in between. Your bar slides down, quick and easy. Chainsaw storage, really handy. Highly suggest that if you're tractor logging. Otherwise, you're gonna have nowhere to haul your chainsaw. So that's how we skid the logs to wherever we're skidding them to. And the wagon here, now this is just a hay wagon running gear, 8-ton running gear, picked up used for cheap. Cut some main beams, used some scrap steel I had to make some log bunks, and this is how I get the stuff out of the woods. You could skid everything right out of the woods depending on your situation. For me, I have too long a skid, it would take forever. So the key to any logging operation, whether you're doing firewood, saw logs, whatever, is to be as efficient, as quick as possible. Time is money. That's really the case with everything. So by being able to throw a load of logs on this and hitch up and take it out, it's way faster than skidding everything individual. But you know, if all you have is a tractor, it'll get you done. So that is where the loader on the front of the tractor comes in. That's obviously how I load the wagon, how I load those log bunks, because obviously you need a way to lift them up. So I just use pallet forks. You could use a grapple on the front. I'm trying to keep this low budget. I don't have a grapple for this tractor, so I use pallet forks. And once with a little bit of practice, you can do just as good with pallet forks as a grapple. So that's the general overview. The other thing I will say, I fill the tires, the rear tires. Basically all our tractors, the rear tires are filled. I use washer fluid. Some people use calcium, it's corrosive. I prefer washer fluid. Other parts of the country they use beet juice. It's not so common around here. So those are filled with washer fluid. They give you ballast, they give you weight. So when you are loading with the loader, you got something holding you down, because the back end of these tractors are real light. So it gives you traction, keeps you from tipping. So that is something, if you're working with anything with a tractor with a loader on, whether it's logging or just moving stuff around, fill your tires or put wheel weights on. You're going to find it makes a world of difference. So that's about it. I am very fortunate, even though we're on the top of a mountain and we farm some wicked hills, the woodland I own is almost all flat. There's one hill to kind of get into the woods. Other than that, it's all flat. So I'm very fortunate. I can pretty much drive in and get everything with this setup. If I had some wicked hills, you're probably going to want some kind of winch on the back, a 3-point forestry winch. Those are awesome. I don't really have the use for it. The other modification I may make in the future, I may put a hydraulic grapple and run it off the tractor remotes. It would make it much nicer to just grab and go and not have to fiddle with these tongs as much. So that might be something I do down the road, but for the amount I do it, I don't mind the exercise of jumping on and off the tractor. So I got a few things to do here. I need to the other thing I'll show you about this wagon, another feature if you're thinking about something like this, it's covered in snow now, but I put a little deck here on the back that I can keep chainsaw tool, gas, oil, chains, whatever extra stuff I want to haul out into the woods. So I haul this out into the woods to wherever my landing area is going to be, drop it, and then I go about logging, you know, pulling the logs out to the trailer, loading them on. When I get a load, pull it back. So pretty simple setup. It works pretty efficiently. Don't have a ton of money into it. That's the big thing. You know, if you're not doing it commercially, you don't want to get a fortune into expensive equipment. So you really could do it with just a tractor and a chainsaw. And somebody might ask me, this is a 42 horse tractor. If you watch my videos, you know we definitely have a lot bigger equipment around, but This is actually a perfect size for working in the woods. It's not too big. It's if I remember correct, about 5.5, 6 foot wide. So it yeah, probably more closer to 5.5 wide. It goes really nice in the woods. You can maneuver in tight spaces, and it's not too big, and it has plenty of pulling power. It's like the sweet spot. Not too big, not too small. So I'm happy with this. If anybody's, you know, interested as far as tractor size, I would say, at least for me, 4-wheel drive is a must. So you can make do with 2-wheel drive, but 4-wheel makes your life a lot easier. So I gotta file a chain, get some gas and oil loaded up, get some other stuff ready to go here, and probably the next time you see me, we'll be out in the woods, hopefully cutting some trees. So catch you then.